Hey, what's up guys, it's Axel here, and today we're checking out the Moondrop Golden Ages 2. This is a true wireless earbud, a TWS with a 30mm planar driver. It's priced around $89 and they are the follow-up to the original Moondrop Golden Ages, which I personally really like. So the big question here today is this really an upgrade to the original Moondrop Golden Ages, and how does it stack up? So first, quick giveaway announcement for the channel subscribers. If you're subscribed to the channel, just leave a comment down below to enter. In 10 days, 2 random winners will be picked and announced only on the YouTube community tab. Each winner will get one Moondrop Golden Ages 2 from Moondrop. So I want to say a big thank you to Moondrop, and yeah, let's get started. All right, so what do you get inside the box of the Moondrop Golden Ages 2? Now obviously you get 4 pairs of oval shaped silicone ear tips. You do get this short USB-C to Type A cable, and of course the manual and so on. And then you get this case right here, and you can see how it looks like. This is the case. You get a button on the back, you get the USB-C on the bottom, there is an indicator light right here, which you can see, and here is how the case opens. And other than that, you do get this other case. This is a protective case for the charging case, and yeah, I'll show you how it looks like. You basically put it right here, like so, and this is how the case looks like. Boom, this is how it looks like on the back, on the front, it opens and so on. Looks really nice. And this is how the earbuds themselves look like. This is the stem design. This is the area that's elevated and defined for the touch controls. And basically this is your similar, familiar stem design for, that you have seen like in Moondrop Space Travel 1, Space Travel 2, Golden Ages 1. Basically just the main difference is the styling, the design, and this part, elevated part right here. Yeah, and that's basically it. Fit is always gonna be personal, but for me these seal well and the earbuds stay put in my ears even when walking or moving. They're light, comfortable, and yeah, for me just it fits. That stem design works really well for my ears. For the ANC and the transparency mode, I'll say the ANC here is a solid step up from the Space Travel 2, but I will describe the active noise cancelling as okay. It's decent. Yeah, it's much better than the Space Travel 2, but it's not at the level of the AirPods Pro 2, for example. It works, it reduces some noise. Something I really like here is the anti-wind feature. This is actually useful if you're sitting next to a fan or you're walking outside, for example. It really cuts the wind noise. As for the transparency mode, the transparency mode here sounds good. It can make some far off noises, or sounds seem closer than they really are, but it still gets the job done if you want some awareness of your surroundings. As for the app itself, the Moondrop Link app now adds some features that are exclusive for the Golden Ages 2. For example, right now you can turn off the voice prompt, that disconnected voice prompt. You can turn it off. You can turn on or off the anti-wind feature. You can use the EQ. You can use 3 gain levels. There's also a new spatial audio tool with 3 settings. So the fixed setting gives it an almost artificial sense of space, like the vocals sound loud, but it's as if they're coming from a distance. And there's also head tracking, which is nicer. Basically the sound shifts and moves with your head, like it's like as if the sound is coming from a source behind you, and if you move your head here, this area for example will be quieter. You turn your head back again, it gets louder. It's nice, can work for music or gaming, but for me I find it a bit distracting, and I prefer the default sound. And this has a good sense of stage, and the codec support is strong. You also get LDAC, LC3. There's also multi-point Bluetooth, but the thing is you can't use EQ with LDAC, and the multi-point feature also has to be turned off if you want to use LDAC. And this is important because for me these are bass light and I really need some bass boost here to make them shine. So I hope Moondrop adds like a bass plus or a bass boost profile in the future, like they did with the Space Travel 2. As for the built-in EQ, it has 5-band parametric EQ, and it has like -12 dB up to +3 dB. Works clean without any distortion. You also get presets, like from target curves, from Moondrop IEMs, and there's also the community EQs, where people upload their EQs, and you can use those without needing an account. So that's a nice feature for me. Something I like here also is that these get loud, and not only that, now you can assign taps. For example, you can press once if you want, and that will raise or lower the volume. You can actually assign that in the app. This is a feature I really liked in the Tanchjim Mino, and it's nice to see it here. As for latency out of the box, I noticed some latency, like when I was watching videos there was some lag, but basically when I switched to the low latency gaming mode, 4 taps, basically it was done, fixed, you know, no latency anymore. Alright, so let's talk about the sound of the Golden Ages, and basically you get 3 profiles here. The pop profile is mid-range focused, has light bass and crisp trebles. Vocals cut through clearly here, which is great if you're listening outdoors. The bass is really light on this profile, and I personally prefer more bass, but I would say this profile is very similar to the sound signature of the original Moondrop Space Travel. There's also the reference, which has fuller mids, more natural vocals overall, but it still has less sparkle up top. It's a bit laid back in the treble compared to the pop profile. And there is the monitor profile, which is basically the reference profile with way less bass. I mean, the bass levels here are below neutral levels, and this one just sounds too lean for me. You know, it may be useful for someone out there, but it's not for me, absolutely. Yeah, so no matter the profile, ANC on or off doesn't change the sound profile, which is really nice. It doesn't affect the sound. And I will describe the profile quickly on the Golden Ages 2. I will say it sounds clean, it sounds detailed. The bass here has some impact and physicality on bass heavy tracks, even though the bass here isn't boosted. The bass is also clean without bleeding into the mids, so the vocals stay clear, and the mid-range clarity and separation are actually great for a TWS. The treble here sparkles without being harsh, cymbals and hi-hats are highlighted. Soundstage is actually good, and the level of detail is great for a TWS. And this is one of the things that sets this apart from other Moondrop, you know, wireless earbuds or IEMs. That said, I want to mention that the bass here is light, and if you really want some low-end punch, you have to use EQ, and I really wish there was a bass boost profile, because the bass actually is really great on this Moondrop Golden Ages 2, and I know some of you will be like, Axel, just use EQ. And you're right, but just with these, using EQ means turning off the LDAC, and you know, that's the thing. I wish there was just a bass boost profile or a bass plus a profile so that I could use LDAC and use the bass boosted profile as well. That would be like ideal in my opinion. All right, so let's talk about a few limitations with the Golden Ages 2, as I feel maybe some of them could be deal breakers for you guys. Maybe you want to know about them. So let's talk about that. Number 1, there is no EQ or multi-point Bluetooth if you want to use LDAC. Number 2, there is no built-in bass boost profile yet. Number 3, EQ is limited only to 5 bands. And number 4, if you want to use EQ and boost it, you're only limited to plus 3 dB of gain. So let's start the comparison, and I'll start the comparison against the Golden Ages. I love the Golden Ages. I've used mine a lot until it turned yellow in the case, but if I take it off like so, it looks really clean. Yeah, looks really clean, almost brand new. So we have both this and this one, all right? And what's the difference? In reference mode, they sound almost identical, okay? In pop mode though, you do get here the extra vocal clarity and the sparkle, but I'll say, so if you're not going to use EQ, they sound almost identical here. So in terms of features though, this is where the new version wins. It pulls ahead because it has longer battery life, it has the better microphone, it has EQ, spatial audio, anti-wind, you know, for the ANC, and it has more responsive touch controls. So it definitely wins when it comes to the features. As for the Tanchjim Mino, it's still the EQ king with a full 10-band parametric EQ plus 12 dBs of gain and a visual frequency response graph. The Moondrop Golden Ages 2 has only 5-band and only plus the 3 dB, and you know, the Mino now doesn't have what the Golden Ages offers, like LDAC, the multi-point, or even the same level of detail and separation. So I would say if you want the flexibility of EQ, 10 bands and so on, the Mino absolutely wins. If you want more features, then the Golden Ages 2 is better. And the last thing here is the Space Travel 2. And obviously the Golden Ages 2, in my opinion, is a clear upgrade. The bass is stronger, the vocals are clearer, the treble is sparklier, and the overall level of detail is much higher. Both have similar EQ experience, but the Golden Ages 2 adds stronger ANC, anti-wind microphones, a covered case, and even an extra case inside, higher volume, LDAC, spatial audio. So I feel this is still the champ. You know, at $30, it's the best you could get. But with the case of the Golden Ages 2, you pay more, but you also get more. So who do I recommend the Golden Ages 2 to? I would say if you love the Golden Ages 1 and you love that sound and detail, but you want the better features, you want the, you know, the longer battery, the improved mic, and all those things that I mentioned, like the EQ and so on, this is a great option. Number 2, if you want a good TWS with good resolution, you value clarity and detail and sense of separation, this is a great option. And number 3, if you want to use EQ with the TWS and you want want the extra features that I mentioned. So in that case, I recommend it. Now, who I don't recommend it to, number one, if you have the original Golden Ages and the new features or the EQ and all those features are not important for you, you're happy with the old one, then yeah, I don't recommend it. Number two, if you're a bass head, I feel that extra 3 dB of EQ boost may not be enough, and there is no bass profile yet, so then I don't recommend it. And number three, I don't recommend it if you want strong active noise canceling. So yeah, that's it for today's review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.